Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Star Wars Expanded Universe. Now redubbed by Disney, or Lucasfilm, whichever way you slice it. Legends. Today I have for you an ending of sorts, though of course there's still much more to come. But I guess if you look at certain issues a certain way, that with all 50 issues and the War 6 or 5 issue series, you can kind of see it as like 3 novels worth of stuff that you'd put in a novel. So you have a trilogy here, filled through 50 issues. But today we will be going through, I believe our first video we had issues 1 to 7. Here we're going to have issues 8 to 19. So I'm going to give you a short summary of all of the issues, little phrase, since it's a comic book, and then I'll just kind of talk about what I liked, and then we'll be done with this video for the day. So, starting with issue 8, it is a flashback to 7 years, back during the Alsis and the Jedi Massacre, except that it's from the perspective of the Empire. Issue 9 focuses on the Sith and the Imperials, that's all I'll say. Issue 10, Morgan. That's it. Morgan, an agent for the Empire. That's all I'll say. Issue 11, Visions. This one was really cool, with Cade experiencing some visions. Issue 12, Vong! That's your thing there. Issue 13 is an attempted Fel assassination. Issue 14, which was Quest to Save the Jedi that Cade goes on. The Jedi that he got a bounty for earlier on in the previous issues, he goes to rescue the Bothan Jedi. Issue 15. Cade's friends are tortured. Moff planning. And Krait's real name. That's all I'll say. Issue 16. Cade is captured. And Krait's history on Tatooine after Order 66. Issue 17. A bit more of Het's history and the Twi'lek and Cade have a bit of fun, I guess is what I'll say there. Issue 18. Vong torture from the past during the very beginning of the Yusong Vong War with Darth Krayt. That one's going to be a fun one to talk about. That one for a very specific reason. Issue 18 is really good because you guys know me. I love certain things, and those of you who've been watching all my reviews will know exactly why I love issue 18, but we'll get to that. Finally, issue 19, a finale of sorts to the story we've been kind of having. Cade escapes, of course, and some threads are left over, and that will be continued in future issues. But the whole building storyline of having Cade show up and meet Darth Krayt and everything, that has been resolved for now. They're still after him, and we'll see what continues on with his adventures moving forward. And that is about it for non-spoilers. Overall, what did I think of these, if we're counting the last video I did too, just the whole 19 issues? Most of them were really, really good, real bangers. I thought that the one that focused on the stormtroopers was a little generic, and I just didn't care for the artwork, and I don't even know if I mentioned in my notes, but they do show up again, so it's not pointless. It's just, considering how phenomenal this entire series has been, that one was the weakest for me. Also, So there's a lot of stuff that focuses on the Moffs, which has paid off significantly now that I got to this part. But it would go all the Cade Skywalker stuff and the Darth Krayt stuff has been the top tier. I'm most excited. Then you have the Empire stuff and the Fel stuff, which is, important, and I think it's good, but it's not that level. And then you had that one particular issue that focused on the Stormtroopers. They're just kind of eh. Overall, though, this comic book series so far has been absolutely fantastic. I'm completely invested in Cade's story. I want to know where it goes. I'm completely invested in Darth Krayt. I love how different he is from other Sith. And I'm excited to see what happens with him and Cade. I'm excited to see what some of the revelations we made, what happens with that. I'm excited to see more of Delilah Blue and Sin, because I think they're really cool companions to have. And I am excited for the rest of this series to just find out what happens, because I'm really enjoying these characters, and it's been a lot of fun. So I hope you'll join me in the next video. If you don't want spoilers, this is your time to check out. But if you've read these already, or if you just don't care, come join me as I talk about some little moments that I enjoyed from each issue. So, starting with issue 8, we learn that back before the crisis of all the Jedi being killed, that the Jedi tried using the Vong terraforming to reclaim worlds. And this is something I really, really like. So this is, filling in backstory that we didn't have, right? Which would have been nice to have in some, novel if the EU didn't get discontinued, or a comic series. But Cole Skywalker, and this is another thing I love, we're trying to make a former villain, the Yusong Vong, who we've only seen one other time now in the expanded universe as a good guy, just, not the main antagonist, which was in the X-Wing Mercy Kill book. But here, we have the Vong species, and the Jedi were trying to help them do something good for the galaxy, to help put them in a better light with the rest of the galaxy. Because you got to understand, despite the fact that it's been quite a bit since that war happened, when something that big and catastrophic with that many deaths happens, a lot of people are going to judge your race. They're going to be racist. It's going to happen for the simple fact that you are the race that slaughtered their parents or their family or whatever. The Vong have scarred the galaxy. That's another thing I love, is that everything since the Vong have affected in some way, shape, or form. Jason's fall, the problems with the Undercity in Coruscant, and so many individual people's lives, that it just is a truly huge event in the expanded universe. But with that, we're trying to put them in a better light, or the Jedi are, bring them in, trying to help them work that out. Unfortunately, the one Sith were there and sabotaged the project, which led to a war before the Sith even started coming in. It started a civil war between people because of that, the Galactic Alliance and the Empire. And then the one Sith just kind of trickled in and took over. As for issue 9, the Sith want Cade because they know they have now learned about his ability to heal people, because he healed the daughter of Fel. And that's really it I have for that. Issue 10, we learned about Morgan Cord, who is some sort of Imperial agent for the Imperials, because the Imperials don't want Cade to be captured by the Sith. But we also learn Morgan Cord is Cade Skywalker's mother. What I find, we see a flashback, and we see that she basically walked out on the family, which I imagine would also affect Cade, which maybe helps me understand his... Because, yeah, of course, your dad dying, that's traumatic or whatever. But on top of that, his mom was never there. At least that's what it seems like. He was a really little kid when she left. So he's never really gotten to know his mom. So I imagine that's affected his character as well. As for issue 11, this is the Vision one. We get to see Mara Jade and Vader and and Cade's vision, and that was just really, really cool. It was cool to see Mara in a visual medium where she didn't look kind of gross. Because I know in the books, she's described as quite beautiful. When I've seen her comics that revolve around her, they didn't look very nice. But that's just me. But I was like, yeah, man, Luke lucked out there. And then we get to see Vader. Of course, it's not actually them, but it was still really cool. The whole sequence where it goes from Anakin Skywalker to becoming Darth Vader was really cool. We get to meet a character named Master Kruik, K-K-R-U-K, Kruik. He's a whipped Jedi, but he seems pretty cool. We haven't seen too much of him yet, just from the first 19 issues, but from what I've seen, I like him. And we get to issue 12, and I already kind of mentioned how I really like how the Jedi try to change Vong perceptions to make them look in a more positive light, and that's really all the notes I had for that one, so I maybe skipped ahead. Issue 13, Cordios Gauntlet, which is apparently kind of like Beskar armor because it's resistant to lightsabers. I was just curious to mention that because they mentioned that, and I was like, oh, interesting. We get a flashback of pirates where Cade is picked up by the pirates and he meets Sin, and I thought that was a nice moment. And then also Cade and his former master, Jedi Master, they have a verbal and a physical confrontation as he's trying to deal with everything, and the whole conversation had was really nice, and it was really good. As for issue 14, Cade goes to save the Bothan Jedi because, not for any other reason than he doesn't like people owing him. And so he goes to the Sith Temple. We see this Coruscant underground, affected by the Vong forming and everything as always. We get to meet a new Hutt woman, because I think there was one in the Clone Wars TV show. We have another Hutt woman here. I don't see too many Hutt women, which is the only reason I mention it. And an Imperial that we've been following a bit, we find out he has a daughter in this issue. That's really the most important things. I don't have anything really to digest from that, but that's just kind of what happened. Issue 15, Cade's friends get tortured, and so, that was hard to watch. And then, of course, Cade promises to stay as long as, they get set free. And then we learn Darth Krayt's name, Asherod Het. More to that in issue 16. Sin, Blue, Morgan, the Wookiee, which I don't remember the name, and the Devorian woman work together to save Cade. So they're trying to plan a rescue attempt for Cade, basically. Krayt discusses, or Asherod Het, however you want to describe him, we see a flashback to after Order 66, Asherod Het went back to Tatooine. But who else is on Tatooine at this time? Well, my friends, that would be Obi-Wan Kenobi, because he's watching over Luke Skywalker. And he's hurting moisture farms and stuff, so Kenobi fights him, cuts off one of his hands, and takes off his mask. Because Asherod Het is raised by sand people. He is a sand person. But if you take off a mask in their culture, then you are disgraced. You're no longer allowed to be part of the tribe. There's no Jedi Order anymore. Sidious and Vader won. And there's no tribe for him now. So he goes to leaves What he further becomes, we shall find out in later issues. And then by the end of issue 16, Cade joins the dark side? Question mark? Maybe? Let's continue to find out. Issue 17. We learn that Het became a bounty hunter, but crash landed on a planet named Korriban, where he found a Sith holocron that had Zexun, I don't know how to say it, it's with an X, one of the first Sith Lords, to teach Fudge, I keep doing that. Darth Krayt about the dark side. And he stays there for much longer than anticipated, because by the time he gets out to get revenge on Vader and Sidious, they've been defeated. Issue 18. We get a Vong flashback and Verger. We learn that he goes to the unknown regions, only to find the Vong right before like the big start of the war. I don't know if Vector Prime has happened by this point. Either Vector Prime has already happened or it's about to happen. And he meets the Vong and is tortured by them. And who do we see in these parts? We see Verger. Oh, Verger. My favorite book is Traitor. And next time I go through New Jedi Order, it's going to be crazy seeing her early on, because I didn't pay her too much attention. I thought she was weird in the books that were focused on Han Solo, where she was there. But I didn't think about it too much until she came back. But you know me, I love Darth Kaitis. I love Verger. And so we got to see a bit more of her here, and that was great. It was... I knew what she looked like. They described it well enough. And it's pretty much exactly what I envisioned. But it was nice to have a visual image of her to see. And what she talks about with him is interesting. Of course, she goes, you have a different philosophy from me. And I gotta be somewhere. I gotta go be with the Vong priestess or whatever. So, good luck to you. I'm going to go find me my real apprentice. And checks out. But that whole section where she was there and he was being tortured was phenomenal. I really liked that. It was also just nice to see Vong ships in comics. I know there's the Invasion comics, but still, it was just nice to see all that. Krayt really needs Cade, because he has the healing power that can save him. And so, as much as he says he wants, I'll kill you if you don't do this, he really can't, because he needs him. And then we get, to issue 19, and there's, because he's fighting by the end of issue 18, and by 19 they're still fighting and stuff. There's I'm blending in issue 18 and 19 together because they're kind of the same. But the father, there's the Cade Skywalker, Cole Skywalker's father, shows up in a vision, or as a Force ghost, I'm not exactly sure, is materializing like right in front of the glass case with the lightsaber we saw earlier, because as was mentioned earlier in a previous issue, Krayt even says, I'm different from other Sith. Your father was an honorable warrior, so I honor that by keeping that up there. And so his father is over that. Cade goes to hug him. Sorry about that, but anyway. So there was the glass case. It breaks. His father disappears. He grabs the lightsaber. It was just a really cool panel. That's all. Hate being interrupted. Hate it. Anyway. Last but not least, Cade escapes with the help of his mother. And then, well, I don't know what happens after that. We'll have to see in the next issue. But Darth Krayt needs him alive, doesn't want him dead, needs to bring him back because he needs him to heal him from the Vong afflictions. Lastly, the Imperial lady that we've been following for a bit Ninya, she was the Cord the whole time. She is Cade's mother, which was a crazy revelation. And we'll see where that goes in the future. But that is pretty much all for my thoughts on the first 19 issues of Star Wars Legacy. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Sharing helps a ton. If you want to know what I think about the rest of the series, well, you'll have to stick around to find out. And there's still so much to see moving forward and then backward. So I hope you'll join me for all of that next time. Anyway, may the Force be with you.